Back to the DAC 2017 America Qualifier. We took a couple of days off, and now we're going to get ready to hop into the playoffs here. We started with 8 teams, and now we're down to 4, is pretty much what I'm getting at. And this is where shit really hits the fan. I'm just going to be blunt about it. I'm Cuddle Guy for Beyond the Summit, and I'm going to be joined remotely from my good friend here, Fogged. Yannis, how's it going, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Is
I
my mic
can.
absolute garbage?
No, it's very loud though, so I had to
It is.
panic turn this slider all the way down here, and I think I got you good. It's like the exact opposite of when I had like Lacoste on here before. Okay.
Yeah, my old headset broke. I'm using some random one that I had sitting around. I've been kind of in like hectic stuff going on. Been losing power here. A big blizzard hit us, about like 12 inches of snow,
Damn.
whatever that is in normal, European, non-American people. That's like what 40. That's 40 plus centimeters or
Like
something like that.
3 cold stones or something like that.
Yeah, 3 stones, give or take.
Out
But
in Long Island. I'm sorry to hear that. Here in California, things are just wonderful for now. The rain will come and go, but things are pretty nice today.
It's
So
it's been warm though, is the crazy thing. It's been like pretty like summery kind of spring feeling, and then we got hit by a big snowstorm. But I don't know. I've been pretty upset because I haven't really gotten a chance to watch these teams. I know we're probably in the draft already and stuff's already happening, but I know a couple of these bands are like
yeah,
standing out. Like the Meepo, the Coddle, these are pretty standard bands versus Onyx.
yeah.
Demon's Coddle has been playing incredibly well. And then yeah, Abed Meepo. Looking at the other side, Onyx's bands. I mean, Complexity, Leshrac. Yep, no, nothing new there. The
Yeah.
Underlord, that hero has been pretty ridiculous. I know new changes have came out in 7.02. I looked over most of them, but Doom first pick, that one is a bit curious to me. Even though he did get some pretty big reworks in his changes, his talents are pretty darn good now at level 10 and 15.
Yeah, I mean, we had been seeing Doom kind of resurface a bit. People were trying to reach for it as a possibly a counter to like Ember Spirit when he was like kind of back on the rise there. People would often find
Yeah.
themselves first phasing the Ember, and then other teams would try to use Doom as in their first 1-2 to try to be a counterfight. But here we see Doom in arms with Ember Spirit on complexity side, so it is a bit more peculiar, but we'll have to see what they have in store here. But
I'm
complexity lately
liking.
have been on a serious tear. I know you've said you haven't been able to watch too many of the
Yeah.
matches, but I mean, complexity just kind of blasting through PPD's wanted team 2-0 after they took down DC. So I'm curious, before we get to dissect the draft a bit further, what do you think about complexity? Are they coming in here like surprisingly looking at one of the favorites to actually qualify for the LAN, or was that a fluke? Like, what do you think about complexity?
I they've been doing really well. I mean, they're on what, like a 5 series win streak or something like that, or a 5 game win streak. They've
Yeah.
been picking comfort picks and just doing like overall like early game kind of strategies. I know they picked Tinker in one of their last series and it went kind of long, but overall they've been doing like this like kind of push strategy with like either like a mech carrier like the Pit Lord or sorry, the Underlord, or like the Leshrac, and they go for these like minus armor and armor like chipping tower kind of strategy things,
Yeah.
where they time the wins between like up to like 30 minutes or so. That's like where their most success has been. So I think that I don't really think it's a fluke. I think it's just like well built strategies that they use together. And this is kind of a thing that's been happening with complexity for, I mean, 2 3 years now with Melons being their captain. He likes to group up. He likes that type of mentality of the game. If you can close it up sooner, why not?
Yeah, exactly. And this has got to be something that they were expecting to get into, putting the justified but warranted bans of Meepo and even Demon's Coddle. I mean, Demon's Coddle is annoying and it does its job, but do you honestly think it's worth the ban over something just like banning out the Lone Druid, like Mason's Lone Druid?
I think if it's like the thing is that Coddle can really form a whole strategy of, like for a team, and I think maybe they're just like they don't want to play versus that kind of style, so they're just like getting rid of it right away. They're like, okay, we have solutions for the Lone Druid, I guess that's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
It's definitely putting yourself maybe a little bit on the back foot because you're playing like into the opponent's advantage. Like they're like, okay, our Coddle and Meep are really strong. It's like, okay, they have to get rid of them. You're already kind of playing a little bit into their hands, but they obviously had an idea coming out with this since they first picked the Doom and left Lone Druid Slaughter. I mean, I'm looking at Team Onyx right now and I'm terrified.
Yeah, they
I,
have.
and I don't think that this Windrunner pick. I know we saw it in like the support role, right? I think Yapsor played it
Yep.
earlier,
Yep.
and I believe it was kind of underwhelming at first. He did end up getting pretty farmed, but I think they lost that game anyway. I want to say, right? It went
Yeah.
like super long, and it was like they were almost coming back, and then they kind of went back. And I didn't really feel so much like what the Windrunner was doing so much entirely. I guess like. Alright, we'll see how it ends up working and what role they end up doing it here, but right now I'm looking at Onyx's 3 heroes and they look much more much more
Fearsome.
powerhouse and
Yeah,
much more fearsome. They
for
look like
sure.
this driving force, hitting buildings, minus armor. They're very physical dependent right now, while complexity's a little bit more well-rounded, you could say.
Yeah.
But overall, these three heroes are, you know, there's sustained, there's lots of disable, there's, and, I mean, this bear, I don't think the nerfs were, I personally didn't think that they were enough. I thought they were, you know, he still seems to be
Yeah,
a
there's a
bit
lot
strong,
to
but
there's a lot of cover in there too, from what you were even just saying. As recent as like the Wind Ranger being picked up, this could just be complexity trying to, be a bit of complexity. Like, oh, we want to try out some of the new blood here in the meta a bit. Yapsor obviously as mentioned was inspired, or at least their team was inspired. She got what, like a buff to her power shot early on, so maybe like 180 damage, I believe, even at level 1. So if
yeah, it's
you're able, yeah,
ridiculous.
you can get some heavy nuking power, heavy laning harassment, and maybe they're feeling a bit of the same thing here for complexity, but they do already have the Doom, and they usually do have Z-Freak on the Doom, so I think Cole's going to be rolling it in more of a core position here. So Moo,
Their
Ever
lanes are open.
Spirit, and cancel Wind Ranger is likely, but they are pretty
Yeah.
open still. They have that flexibility, but Cole I'm anticipating they're going to be using this Wind Ranger a bit different. And then also when you were saying a bit about the Lone Druid and his nerfs, uh, you already answered the question for me because I know a big one I was going to ask coming into this because I haven't been able to cast any game since 7.02 is if Lone Druid was affected a lot or not, and you said he's not. And I could see that. I mean, the numbers were changed, 10 seconds reduced on respawn and some other little things, but nothing that's really going to be too much of a travesty. And plus, it's Mason. He loves the hero. He loved the hero before he was even like 2017 Lone Druid, so I think it's just something they're going to continue to go with since they're already practiced on it. Clockwork, though.
I like this clock pickup.
Yeah.
It already like, I mean, you don't really know the slaughter or the clock can be the 4, I guess, in this situation still. More than likely the clock offlane, but this gives you like more initiation and just more ways to lock down a specific target.
Bulba clock, buddy. I mean, come on here.
And yeah, Bulba clock.
Bulba frickin' clock.
Radiant
But
team back.
Lifestealer comes out now. No, your true vehicle yet, if you will, unless you're going to be more reliant on Doom getting the farm towards a Blink Dagger for himself. That spot's going to be reserved for their 5th pick. But someone to be able to man fight. I've always heard a bit of skepticism, though, of the Lifestealer versus Lone Druid matchup. I believe I was talking with Lacoste a bit, and he mentioned that it is a bit more favored for the Lone Druid, but I don't know if that's changed much since this recent patch.
Yeah, it definitely got more affected this recent patches, but it used to be it used to be okay, but it's pretty tough to deal with it. Just you can't really get on him, and he has so many different ways of kiting you because of Rabid now.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous to try to get a hold of the little guy.
And they have a lot of different ways to like reduce the Lifestealer's potential of catching people too, and this is armor, so like Slaughter, Weave. There's a lot of different things that they can just like use to beat down
Juggling
Lifestealer.
around the cogs. Oh my goodness, that's a Phoenix here. I honestly cannot tell you who's going what on what lane and why for complexity right now. I'm still a little scrambled up about it. Seeing the Phoenix come out, does that read to us that it's more likely going to be a Phoenix off lane or a Doom off lane? To be honest with you, I haven't seen either do off lane as much at all. So it's a bit
Not sure.
bit
It could
intriguing,
be.
And
Yeah,
you're going
it's
against a
still
Lone Druid who should be, in theory, kind of pretty good at being able to crack an egg. This seems intriguing. It seems like, it's your first game of a best of 3. Melon's flexing a bit of his, drafting muscle here. I'm intrigued. I'm just very intrigued.
I'm intrigued as well. That's definitely it. I am really liking Onyx's lineup. It's a very like straightforward draft that we've seen. Abed Invoker, we have Mason on Lone Druid, we have Bulba Clock. These are staple heroes that these guys play. Complexities is a little bit more odd. Let's see how their team fight looks. I'm trying to think about how that would go down.
Yeah, trying to like that's the thing is when I see the draft come out, like the first thing you want to do is you want to start visualizing like maybe their team fights, the early laning phase, like how it's going to pan out, and the congealment of complexity, the synergy they have between each other does feel a little bit awkward. The Phoenix helps a bit. You get that vehicle, if you will, for Lifestealer, a way to dive in and make the fight happen. But then your Phoenix is kind of committed to maybe dropping the egg in the middle of a fight where Onyx could kind of handle it. So I don't know. It's going to be very intriguing. I'm curious how the laning phase is going to go. Because Onyx, it's pretty damn clear cut what they're looking to get out of it. But they did.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what lanes they do. That's like I really don't know what to think until I see how compLexity really lanes it. So it's monkeys on the Windrunner, and then it's gonna be the support Doom and Phoenix.
And yeah, so support Phoenix, a Swindle support Phoenix, mind you, at that. I mean, we've known Swindle for the longest time, on compLexity playing in the off lane, playing more of those core positions before that. You know, his time in Han, this guy was a big mid lane player, you know, and then recently adopted the position of support. He was, along with like the mentality of like PPD and stuff where I feel like my mic just aired out. Can you still hear me, Fogged?
I can hear you fine. My mic is apparently
I just lowered you.
atrocious and
Yeah,
injuring people.
I lowered you down a bit on my end since then. I have Eric here who's kind of helped me out, so don't worry about that. And there might be like a setting in TeamSpeak we can tweak, but I think I got it covered. My mic in my ear was being a bit funny, but
My headset literally broke a couple days ago, and I panic grabbed whatever I had. This thing is not a good mic. I know that. I am really sorry, guys.
nah, I turned you down a bit. It sounds not that bad in my ear, so I think it was just going out a touch louder, but I think we fixed it now. Remember, there's a 5-minute delay, so by the time a message is kind of conveyed that there might be an issue, it takes another 5 minutes, and then another 5 minutes for you guys to hear the result. But don't worry, you're not going to be missing any of the action as we're just starting, guys. We're just getting started with a full day of quality American Dota, the best Dota, as we have 4 teams to kind of really battle it out. Only one spot, though, to make it to the LAN here, DAC. We haven't seen a successful DAC event since 2015, where, you know, EG took the title. Sumail made a name for himself. Now it's time for Onyx, for maybe little Abed to make a name for himself, or a bigger name than he already has. Or maybe for compLexity, it's time for monkeys to shine, you know?
Let's find out. I think this game might be more of the Bulba shining, though. I'm already got to put that one down. A Clockwork versus a Phoenix Lifestealer. I've seen Bulba dismantle dual lanes so many times as this clock. I think also I'm gonna try to keep my voice down a bit, because I think the peak is what's wrong with this mic.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like in TeamSpeak, there's an option, I believe, in advanced options under where you look like you set up your microphone, you know? And they have like auto gain control, auto turned on. So if it is auto turned on, you might want to turn that off, because then it'll be like,
I'll take a look soon.
take a peek, Arena, dude. But I wouldn't worry about it too much.
I just want to comment on some really quick thing, because I think people should look at what Bulba does specifically as this Clockwork offlane. So right away, creep spawn, he cogs the whole first wave, uses the shrine instantly, kills one of the cogs right away, and then he blocks the whole wave going up, and then he gets a second cog off midway between the wave, and gets all the creeps again. He does this in all of his pubs too, and then it continues to block it again, so he gets the lane in a really good position, and they're even doing a dual lane, so you can tell they're already setting that up, and putting a 1v1 lone druid is always ideal.
Bulba always just sounds like a treat to play in a pub against. Obviously, I don't have the luxury, but whether it's between tactics like that or enforcing your own teammates to play Shadow Demon and Luna and such, I'm sure he's always a joy. Mid lane is turned now quickly into a 2v2. It's obviously
might be in some trouble.
Both 4 positions are doing their best to impose their will, but it's Z-Freak who gets the nod here, dishing out the Hadouken and able to kind of secure the first blood for compLexity.
I don't think Dubu expected that one.
No, I don't think many people did. Doom roaming 4 position again is kind of the new trend on the block here, but having the Satyr creep certainly kind of helps the matter tremendously. Let's see here as the breakout continues. The 2v2s also turned to the top lane in that matchup, leaves Mason in his 1v1 with Monkeys, who's going to get the free XP and farm, but so's Mason in that argument. Top lane, Melon's trapped in with the cogs, gets bumped back, needs one more right click, but he's going to be able to make it away. Moon now turns his attention right onto Bulba himself, but Demon's been here, pelting away at him. But Melon's birdie is able to make it away from trouble.
It's really gonna hurt. I think it should hurt the Lifestealer a good amount in this lane, the amount of pressure they're gonna put. But the more so is thing is that they're putting this lone druid in a 1v1 versus Windrunner. So the early lane, early phase is fine. The Windrunner does okay, but Mason's doing a good job of pushing the lane out and pulling the side with his bear. So he denies a bit of experience and everything there, and he gets an advantage. Because once bear hits 5, that's when the lane's impossible for the Windrunner.
So trying to get the most out of the lane while he can, and playing with that clock. But it's going to be awkward at that point because, I don't know, Wind Ranger can't really just leave the lane and go on too much of a ganking adventure. We'll have to see. Going on a ganking adventure, though, Dubu with an invis top lane. Looks like he was not able to find the setup he was hoping for. Melon's a little too far from the lane. Meanwhile, cancel mid lane. Oh my goodness! Set up a beautiful Sunstrike, just like flank of the position, and he just happened to walk straight to it. Just thinking that extra step ahead. Well played.
Did you catch that one?
Yeah, I
actually
did.
missed
I
that.
did.
Oh,
Oh man, he was just taking it to the Ember. Totally gave it away that he was dishing out a Sunstrike, and so Ember wanted to juke it, but Abed one step ahead. Well played.
he put it like behind the creeps or something, and he just like kind of moved into it or something, I guess.
He put it like straight north of the Ember, and
Oh,
he
damn.
just juked himself straight that direction. Got hit by it. Well played. And checking out now towards the top, Dubu continuously being frisky here, not allowing Swindle to kind of just free farm with the pull stacks, allowing Moo to kind of gate the wave under the tower, makes his impression
Yeah.
there, and takes his business elsewhere.
I like this move too. Like, you know, Demon was up there and he decided to move as the Dazzle. They don't want to be infringing on the Clockwork's levels. You want him to get a 6 as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So he guaranteed the first few waves and then got out. Z-Freak's now going for a play on mid. Cancel playing super aggressive.
Dubu's also there looking to intercept. Does not get connection with the crush at all. Z-Freak's able to sidestep it and now continues to move forward for Abed here. Gets off the shockwave, but it's not going to be nearly enough damage to get the finish.
The raindrop.
He'll have to walk back out, yeah, and as you mentioned there, that's just a simple raindrop that's going to help that gank. Bulba came down here for a bit, and then quickly takes himself back up to that top lane away from trouble.
Abed gets a regen rune.
How convenient.
Thank you.
Convenient also for Dubu to be around. That did allow the sidestep of Z-Freak and save Abed a little bit in that situation. Both poor positions really getting frisky in this one. But Bulba, prompt to return back to that top lane, knows he wants to utilize this solo lane for himself, get to that level 6, and try to take off here.
Yeah, them blocking the pole as well. Onyx blocking top pole really is hurting Melons' levels because he's been trying not to take Moo's experience in the lane. So Moo's level 5, but the Phoenix is only level 2.
Yeah, this is where like a Phoenix support just kind of feels really
Top lane
awkward.
right
We
now.
are
Here we
seeing the
go.
trade though. Yeah, Bulba happy to go in. His Demon rotates up here to assist him, hits him up with the Grave as he's committing and trying to go for the finish, but the dive on out will get Melons to safety and away.
That's so scary as Phoenix when you have a battery assault on you and you're trying to dive.
Yeah.
It's like you have to get it right in between the battery assault ticks, otherwise you get canceled. And there we go, Shrineage. So he put pressure on the Lifestealer, shrines up, and now he's always going to try to do that too, because every time that he does that, there is a chance that Moo gets sunstriked afterwards, because Abed's definitely looking at those situations.
I would guarantee it. Now they're looking to swarm in from behind. Moo, ooh, from the tree line. Demon hits him up with the heal here. Turns into a bit of awkward positioning. He's moving in now for the battery assault. That will pop out the rage. He
Here we
goes
go,
for the
the
concoction. The Sunstrike is there, as mentioned by you, and that is going to earn them the takedown.
Ooh,
Not
power
gonna
shot
get-
off the mark.
Yeah, just slightly off the mark. Demon will avoid that one, but look who's coming to cut him off. It's Zach. Shows up. Uh-oh. Gets the
Got him.
Inferno Blade. Denies Demon the trip back home. And look at this. Cancel crosses paths with Bulba now. And he's trying to make it away here, and it looks like he will be fine. Abed is able to rotate close. Cancel does not want to pursue any further. And look who showed up bottom. Mooted. And he just avoids the crush there from Dubu. Frisky early game here from all fronts. Abed feeling like the big breadwinner, though. 34 and 11 CS, plus participating on 2 different kills now. Some Invoker's getting swole.
Yep. Who else are the big winners? They did do a full lane switch up here. Monkeys went top, Moo went bottom, and I guess Z-Free kind of, he's almost level 6 on this Doom somehow, just kind of running around, getting those like 2 kills.
Yeah, probably picking up bounty
Really
runes
helping out.
aplenty. And now rolling towards this mid lane,
Melons.
but down in
Oh,
below, yeah,
gets caught
Melon.
mid-stun.
Yeah, he's done
Or
for
mid-dive.
sure. The Sunstrike was already there. Cancel looking to come in and try to get some redemption as he runs around with that haste rune. Dubu gets the Grave from Demon, but he's waiting for it, and eventually they'll be able to get it. Now Cancel. Oh, Remnant dive on in, but straight pass and away from Demon. Now the Infernal Blade comes out from Z-Freak, swinging a miss on the Shockwave, but it's not going to matter. They're going to get it in the end, and compLexity pull ahead with a double kill on Cancel, 4-3.
Pretty surprising. You wouldn't expect this if they're like a pretty greedy draft to be coming out with so many kills.
Not done yet. They're fogged top lane. A rotation from Dubu. And Bulba makes his move, trying to get the catch on Monkeys, hiding within the trees. There's going to be the cogs. Another Sunstrike's there. Monkeys in trouble. One more right click should do it. And Bulba's going to pick it up. Game back even once again.
Bulba Dota, baby. Bulba Clockwork.
just easy to make a new call and use Dubu to kind of set up.
Mid lane, Abed getting gone on. Tornado
Doesn't
does not
stop.
catch cancel.
Okay, okay. Running back, cancel. Happy to commit under the tower. Swindles here too. It's a 3-on-2. Mason shows up. Savage Roar, making it a 3-on-3. Z-Freak trapped within the cogs with Bull, but the chase is on for Ahmed. He sunstrikes onto himself and gets the finish on the cancel. And they are also going to get the Z-Freak Doom. Double pickoff right there for Onyx. And that was all just a counterplay, as it was compLexity taking the initiative.
Abed with the next level plays all over, too.
He's going nuts.
That was sick.
Scoping in with these sunstrikes.
Just his like weaving in that chase was really perfect. The way he weaved through trees, waited for his team to get to surround him. Mason's teleport in too, really saving out his buddy, and then that sunstrike on top of himself to clear out the Ember. Just really good responses coming up from Onyx.
This is where things get a bit frightening. I'm glad to see Swindles is trying to find some solo farm. You don't want to be stuck with like a level 1 egg for so long in this game and allow people like Abed and the Lone Druid to easily crack it apart within every fight moving forward here. So Monkeys now, who had nearly the highest CS for his team for quite a while. I'm curious about the build-up he's going to be going for. It looks like it's pretty traditional what we saw in the past. Yeah, bottom lane, they were able to get the jump on the Demon, it looks like. Hiding within the trees, finds himself pinned against the trunk there with Z-Freak in front of him. Very rough.
Boba on the prowl. Got a ward, he sees Melons. He's ready with Abed, deciding if he wants to go.
And there he goes, running in. Pops out the battery assault. Swindles knows trouble is a-coming. Trying to hide himself within the tree, sets a sunstrike. Bulba will make sure the job is done.
Battery assault versus Icarus dive.
It's a nightmare. And Swindles is not able to really utilize the potential of his Phoenix at all. Any sort of skirmish with that clock getting involved, as compLexity try to respond by advancing onto this mid-tier 1. A rotation will come out, and Cancel will find himself with another Haste Rune. His team has been able to also make a push happen here in the bottom as they move in for tier 1. We take a brief peek at the net worth chart, and it is for Onyx right now. Not by a whole lot. This game's still pretty damn close.
Yeah. Early tower pressure, like chipping, is really important for Cole here, so I like what they were doing bottom. They don't really have the best tower hitters on their lineup till like way later when Windrunner and I guess you could say like Lifestealer can just rage and hit the buildings, but it's not really a great option. Though yeah, early buildings are definitely good to chip at for their lineup.
Dubu also, who's kind of been like the under farmer for their team for quite a while, has found some time for himself here in the bottom. Z-Freak makes his approach. Obviously Doom is still on cooldown. Just welcomes him with a crush as he is trying to rush his way forward for what looks like Tranquils, and then I imagine a Blink Dagger to follow that. But if we're kind of playing just a farming game here, which it looks like we're kind of going into now, does this favor Onyx more or compLexity more? It kind of turns to that question of who do you kind of favor with more farming in the later game.
I mean, I like Onyx's draft overall better. I think once they have the Slaughter Blink, they can really start going off, and they have multiple different sources to hit buildings. They have the Invoker and the Lone Druid, and they have just overall, I feel like, pretty good split push and just team fight potential. Like compLexity, when they have all their 6s and they have like their Veil on the Ember, then they can try to go to fight at these tier 1s, but I think at that point Dubu may have a Blink already, because he's farming really well.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Onyx are not too pressured to kind of push the envelope for objectives, where their lineup just kind of naturally does it themselves as they make farm happen. Top lane, Mason might be in a bit of trouble though. He is far from home. Swindle even committing in the egg, trying to help to slow down the bear a bit. Cancel was able to kind of get up in front. Mason gets a forgiving root and continues to try to run here and make it out, but eventually the bird will get to him. Melons will get that last hit.
Mid lane, Bulba just gets a hook onto Monkeys. They put a ward down as well, and he just gets sunstriked and cleared out.
All right. Nice trade to Mason for a Monkeys here. Both had pretty high net worth, so favorable both sides. And Z-Freak,
I think Dubu needs to get this Blink too. I think from what I've seen, he's missed, I think 4 of his crushes, so he's having a little bit of trouble just getting on top of targets. He's being a little bit hesitant with it, so yeah, I mean, he's literally just farming in the bottom lane this whole time. 1,000 gold away from it. The other 3 cores are also farming. Bulba always staying off the map.
Yeah, just being off the map is just definitely going to get compLexity a bit nervous in any setup lane here. but it
Yeah,
looks
here
like the
we go.
approach is going to be here to the bottom lane.
Blade Mill on Bulba. He smokes himself and Mason, so yeah, they don't want to lose. Like I said before, like chip tower is really important for complexity here, so defending these tier 1s is really crucial for Onyx, and boom, right away, runs into monkeys. Actually gets shackled before he gets anything off. Here we go, fight engage and cancel
there's
with
the
the root.
roar. Yeah, Zephyr gets sent away. He commits out the Doom. It's going to be onto Bulba here, and Complexity make their move. Trying to hit onto Mason. Mason goes for the TP, trying to make it out. Sunstrike. Mason makes it away and back to base. The rest of Onyx, though, going to be left to fend for themselves. Do they want to continue engaging, or are they very satisfied with just the canceled takedown? It looks like it's the latter. That is another, Complexity approach that Onyx hold their own.
Yep, very good response coming out for them. Big engagement coming out, and they win heavily. Dubu now getting closer and closer. They're literally just trying to get him that blink dagger, and then they're gonna make more aggressive plays. Bulba's just running around trying to do what he can in the meantime. He's got his Blade Mill finished up too. Abed, maybe in some trouble here.
Jump on in from Melons. There's a nice shackle connection coming out from Monkeys. The egg has already been dropped. Certainly plenty to offer to get the finish in the 3-kill streak. Monkeys will pick up that one. He has just about completed the Maelstrom now. Was delayed from it a little bit there after being picked off in that mid lane. But should have it finished in just a moment. But as
they get some
mentioned,
good aggressive wards coming out with that kill. So they not only pressure on the tower, but yeah, they had 2 wards in the enemy jungle. Bulba now with the initiation on Monkeys.
Yeah.
Blade Mill's up online.
Able to sidestep cancel to get that shot in there. Gets the cogs in, but Complexity is able to get themselves out from trouble. They are a bit weak and wounded here.
They thwart the mid tower push, but bottom lane Mu is able to claim that tier 1 for himself. All in all, pretty good for Complexity.
Onyx are congregating to the mid lane, though. It looks like a fight is going to be underway. They'll set up an early weave. They're looking to stay and get the tier 1 without too much trouble here. Complexity
So I haven't
are
seen,
creeping in, though.
like I said recently, like all the games, but is this the new Invoker build, just straight Wexort? I guess we'll find out after this fight if it does go down.
Oh, back there for Bulba. Shackle.
But yeah, he's going, he only has like 1 in Quas, and he's going full Exort and Wex. I know we've seen a couple Wexort builds, but it used to be a couple still in the Quas. You still get like 2 or 3 points. But no, he's just max for the Exort and for the Alacrity and for the Meteor.
I mean, lately the only kind of Invoker we've been seeing, I've seen is like Weeha, and that's not what he builds, at least from what I recollect. So could be an Abed thing or not. I know he's played Invoker at least once or twice this qualifier, but having trouble recollecting if it's something new or
Bottom
old.
lane, Abed gets the Ghost Walk.
Able to make it away from a bit of trouble there. All right. Very nice. You can feel the tension, though, from Complexity, recognizing that they are in that situation where they don't just want to play the farm game here at the moment.
Well, Cancel just triple reminted neutrals, so he wants to play he's got to get that catch-up going.
Yeah, mega farm game for him.
He's got Veil now, so Veil level 10. Although the spell amplification was nerfed a bit, like 3%. Still is quite strong. Here we go. Onyx go for their chance now. They go for the rush.
Should get it pretty swift here. Dude will pop it with the amp damage, and we'll allow him to kind of shred through it in good time. Down and below, we got Monkeys here, still doing his own side farm here. He has the Maelstrom done. It looks like a Force Staff is going to be next for him.
Big timings coming out from Onyx here with this rush too. Most of tier 1's cleaned up. They've got a deep ward so they can watch movement coming out. And then now Dupu's Blink Dagger is going to be done. Aegis is going to be done at almost level 15 on Mason, so he gets that power spike and damage. And he's almost got his Maelstrom Dragon Lines too with Aegis, so they've got a really big window here of where they are the strongest they're going to be for the next couple minutes. Because they even have the Ags on Abed coming out too.
We're going to have to see how much they're going to be able to get out of it, but I would agree with you. This is a serious power spike. There's the Ags now finished. It's going to be en route soon. Cole, utilized the jungle that they've warded up on the side of Onyx as much as possible, but Onyx have been able to kind of find their own way since then. Now making the move up towards the top. Mu is currently farming nearby here. Bulba could end up coming close. If he gets vision
on him.
He gets the hook. There's a Sunstrike already set up. The Rage comes off. He's going to go for the TP out.
He would have been fine even if the Sunstruck hit. It only does like 500 something damage, so that's fine. Yeah, 537 plus some spell amp, so he was sitting around like 800, 900 with armlet off, so he's okay. pressure now. They have the infested lifestealer inside the Phoenix. They're ready to fight this. He's about to be level 12 on Phoenix too. He wants to get one creep kill. Look, they're even pinging it.
He's got it. It's in one more. He's going in. Now has the
There we go,
level
he
12. Levels it up. Drops the egg. Moo's already made his move. That's going to be the Aegis going down. Looking to go back for the bear here and claim the extra 300. They'll get it. Jumping crush from Dubu. Set up on the 2. And the Invoker combo comes out now. And it hits him pretty hard. Zephyr going to get dropped, and so's Cancel. Cole still looking to fight up Moo. Squares up onto Bulba here. A buyback can get forced out from Cancel, and now Onyx may have made the call to retreat and get back. A grave there for Bulba. Beautiful shackle set up from Monkeys. The power shot is also there, and Moo tries to clean up. Cancel will jump in to get the finish on for Mason, and now looking to go within the trees and catch out Demon. Demon goes for the TP, but he gets chained on down, and compLexity will take this nice fight. 4 will get dropped from the side of Onyx. It will cost compLexity a couple of lives and a buyback, but certainly a worthy swing.
Yeah, that was good defense there by them. Really nice two-man setup by Dubu into the combo, as you mentioned, from Abed. But Cancel with the buyback gives them a little bit more sustain. Just kind of hard for them to fight without the clockwork hook, since he used it earlier on the lifestealer. He didn't have his second form of initiation to lock anyone down. So Moo was able just to rage, and he just runs in and starts beating on the bear. And it's hard for them to really like reset and re-engage with the Slaughter at that point when he gets pounded down a bit by everybody too.
Yeah, Dubu and Bulba, they did their job, they did their jump in and their setup, and then at that point when the fight's in a bit of a disarray and Cole are kind of chasing at you, you definitely have an awkward time trying to make any sort of re-engagement there. So Cole take the upper hand in that.
It's a pretty big win for Cole there. Like their supports are the big winners here. Like, if you look, Ember is behind the Doom. So Seafreak didn't get his Doom off in the last fight, and they kind of, I mean, didn't win the fight per se. They kind of like traded off in the fight, and he's level 11, and he's, yeah, almost something the same net worth as his win order. So.
Didn't they also do something with Devour? Like, does it give him more gold now? Is that something? Yeah, or the talent is level
it's the talent.
80 Devour bonus gold.
It's a really, he got like a really big buff on his talents. It was like 150 health as well. I don't remember what his other was instead of 80 Devour bonus gold. But it was like he gained 100 health on his talent if you want to choose, or he gained like Scorched Earth bonus heal and damage. Like these talents are actually really, really strong.
I'm glad Z-Freak already found something he could just latch onto, because I felt like he was going to be a bit broken-hearted after the recent patch when they took away his little pole camp on Radiant side that he loves to do. Pulling it within the tower and using the tower to kind of beat it down.
Yeah.
That's been taken away.
I'm glad that's gone.
I mean, everyone's glad it's gone.
I had so many pubs where like I just have a guy where he's supposed to pick support and he's just jungling using the tower, and I'm just like, this is not Dota.
For a while there it was, and it allowed 4 positions to get level 2 within moments, and then just make that early gank into the lane and just kind of take over at that point. But those options have been taken away, thank goodness. Z-Freak has been looking for new options on the Doom as they head towards the bottom lane. Dubu, who just blinked and crushed. Monkeys is on the hunt. Can they find him? He's got nowhere safe to TP. He's going to go for it. And it's not going to work out. They got the Shackle. They got a few spells, and this Dubu Slaughter will be down. Space created, though, as Onyx are trying their best to push out this top lane. Spread, farm.
Level 12 Doom now, and he has ice armor as well, so to reduce all that massive physical damage that Onyx does have.
Nice to have against the bear, obviously. And great to have with Phoenix, too. Because now they have that much harder time beating down on that egg.
Well, you can't ice armor the egg.
Oh, no, but you can, if they hit someone else.
Oh, yeah. Got you.
Crazy fight of armor. It's going to happen. Someone's going to get iced.
Egg? That sounds sick.
That would be pretty baller, though, not going to lie. Here's Cole, though. They've actually made the call as they smoke. They're infiltrating pretty damn deep here, and I think they might have found themselves a magician. There's Abed instantly. No shackle connection, so he's going to be able to ghost walk and walk away. Now Bulba steps in himself. Swindle is going to get bumped out, goes for the egg, but the right clicks keep coming in, and that egg gets yoked. And now, Monkeys. TP away, makes it out. Oh, he had Crush, but I don't know if Dubu was paying attention to his hero at the time, or if it would have been there or not. Whatever the case may be, Monkeys makes it out, and now it's Onyx pushing forward. This game is back even 12-12, Fog. And though Cole were kind of taken back in the net worth, this could bring things back even a little bit. Roche is going to be coming up in a couple of minutes. I was getting ready to say very soon, but it's not.
Yeah, I was
soon.
like, wait a minute.
I think it's because that pause, it threw me off. That's what I'll blame. Time has not passed nearly as much.
Cole looks to be much more content with just kind of like, they're like split up, like farming, looking for like these pickoffs. Well, Onyx looks a lot more like grouped up, it seems. Like they want to be doing this more like group up potential and just siege building sound, while complexity just kind of splits up and then they go for the engagement side, as with TPs, like what we're seeing right here.
For sure, bottom lane tier 1 has to go. How dare it still stand at 22 minutes into this game as they have the tower pushing capability. Jump in from Z-Freak. He gets instantly roared back.
Onyx has to get out, yeah.
Yeah, Demon's going to try to go for a Grave TP, but that will get canceled. He will be the one to tank the gank, and the rest of Onyx will quickly make their escape and head back to their farm. Just as they were trying to come together and take some push, or take some objectives, Cole already make their own jump in approach.
The supports on Cole are farming so much. Like, Swindle's level 15 on this Phoenix. I actually have no idea how he's level 15.
Yeah, he didn't have anything for the majority of the early game, and then managed to just spend a solo time in the jungle, farmed his way to a Midas, and ever since then has just
Dude, he's like the highest level in the game almost. Like on his
up.
team. It's that's like your 5 Phoenix. He's going to be outputting so much. Like they are pretty much cores. That's the one thing like complexity really has going for them. Their supports are pretty much cores at this moment in time.
Yeah, and then I look back at like Bulba on Onyx, and I really haven't seen anything new in his pocket. He's level 12. Swindle's 15, and you know, when you're talking about a hero who has to commit the one hook, the one cog setup, and then you're pretty much done, it would be nice to have that Ags to continuously get these hook shots off in the fight. But for now, he's just kind of a one-shot kind of a guy. Dubu also joins him a little bit there, but he is also going to begin prepping for what could be a bit of a longer game. He has a Midas queued up now on the Slardar.
It's one of the, I think we've been seeing that coming out more and more often, right? Where they go, they blink and then they turn it into the Midas. Just because you don't really have any places to farm, so.
Yeah, the only other case I'd be is if, like, I don't know, sometimes they favor the utility of a Force Staff in addition to it.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think maybe it's
because
he has a clockwork too, so he needs to be like, you know, maybe a little bit more of a scaler in a way, I guess.
That's true. Okay, they might get a
Cancel.
jump. It's on to Cancel. He has Moo inside of him. Moo's going to jump out. Cancel's going to go down. Hookshot's already coming in. Swindle gets off an egg that they can't really get the jump on immediately, but they eventually will put their attention on the egg and finish it off. Moo gets hit with a stun, and they will finish him off. It looks like the EMP gets the back end of it, and then Mason just shreds apart Z-Freak there. Insta triple kill for Mason. Cole get hit by a truck of Onyx here in the top lane. Beautiful smoke movement.
That one ward, give them the entire potential to go for that, and they get the perfect jump. Cancel gets instantly demolished. Melons almost gets the egg stun off, but just gets cleaned up. Dubu even lives toward the end there, gets an extra crush off, cleans up Moo, and then Z-Freak blinks in, tries to get the Doom off on Abed, but the fight was pretty much already done there. So complexity just getting caught off guard from that vision advantage from Onyx. Very good movement there from them.
We'll have to see how much this sets them back. Abed goes right to the Roche pit, and it is going to be about 30 more seconds before.
Warded 1 or 2 wards from complexity did it, from Onyx, and then Onyx just split push and took that tier 1 bottom finally. That was it. There's no kills, nothing.
Finally, the tower is going to be down here. Onyx will take the extra free gold that's available on the map. They still need that one more tier 2 here on the bottom lane to clear out all remaining outer towers. See, I was about to say to start taking those shrines, but there was a patch.
There was indeed.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's an interesting change. People are going to have to get used to it.
I mean, how often are we going to see those kind of plays where... Now, hold on. I'll bring that up in a second because Demon is gone. Oh, snap. He actually gets the Grave off. Barely lives. Hits himself with the heal, but eventually a Shackle will find his way to him. He gets lashed in, but not finished off yet. The egg going to be committed, but they already have made their approach onto the egg and will quickly finish it off. But Monkeys, man, he's looking to go to work. Can't get the finish on Dubu, though. Mason will roll in after and try to pick up the remaining pieces. Monkeys looks to hightail it back, hits him with a power shot. Oh, to the low ground, he's forced, avoids trouble from Dubu. Meanwhile, Abed gets a finish on to Cancel, and Monkeys turns into the last survivor, Lone Ranger, running away. And Onyx just segueing right into the Roche pit.
So Cole probably would have gotten, at least one more kill. They would have killed Boba or Dubu, but they used the shrine there since it was up since the position that complexity was diving. So Boba survives. Abed's able to tank up as well, and he takes the turnaround kill onto Cancel and Z-Freak. So that's why those two died, because Bulba survives from that. He now finished up his Aghanims too, so that was just a position. That was a really awkward position for compLexity to take a fight. Onyx just had much more there for themselves, even though compLexity did put down a Vision Ward, and it segues into a Roche, so that's pretty massive actually for Onyx.
And fortunate for compLexity, that had come off the back end of already being caught out of position by Onyx's smoke too. So this is two big momentum swings now for Onyx. They can now come back to this bottom lane and pick up from where they left off. Already Demon going to drop down these wards. So as Cole can approach here from the low ground, they are going to be under the vision of Onyx, and Abed just goes right for the tornado, and it's right down the middle. So not going to get a connection on that. But, you know, you got Bulba waiting in the back wing, I'm sure. Dubu with his Blink Dagger waiting.
They've got some, like I mentioned before, peak timings. They have some more peak timings right now too. Lone Druid's level 20, they have Aegis, quick respawns, etc.
Yeah, 40-second respawn, not 50 anymore.
Yeah.
Just the 40. Jump in from Dubu.
Mid lane, Boo.
Yeah. Still has some
He is
rage.
very isolated. There is a shrine there. They do have a cancel porting in.
Okay. He's running. He's got amped up. Cancel jumps in, crosses past with Abed, and he has to go out the other way. Meanwhile, Moo turns back for Bulba, pops a blade mail. Now eats the right clicks. Moo's going to be going down, and he's out for nearly a minute without a buyback here. Seafree looks to go in and get Bulba, but he gets blasted with the deafening and a meatball. And he's going to be put in the ground. Cole lose 2. Seafreak does have a buyback, and Onyx are looking to force him to use it here as they run their way down the mid lane. And they realize they may not have a creep wave to work with here. Okay, they do. And now it's Cole frantically trying to push out the other lanes and stall a bit.
Middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There's a shackle on the bear. It slows him down, but a glyph will have to be used. And now the buyback will be committed from Z-Freak here. He does have the Doom. Tier 3's taken down. And Onyx are not pulling off. They want to hang around, it looks like here. They will lose the bear.
Lone Druid, when Dubu amps somebody, when he corrosive haze somebody, he hit him for like 550 or something.
Jesus.
Yeah, good old Alacrity, you know?
Alacrity bear.
Yeah. They can actually start taking out shrines now. There we go.
There we go. Just Mason can at least, because he's like the only one who can really do tower work here.
I actually like they're just watching him. They don't want to show anyone else on the map, so they're only showing Dubu. Or they're only showing Mason. And the Force Spirits, I guess.
While Cole slipped their way down through the bottom side, they'll be able to try to protect this shrine. But look who's getting the shrine down below. It's the Forge Spirits. Oh no! They've taken the shrine to about half of its life already. Moo's going to have to take care of that one. Onyx are inside compLexity territory now, just casually farming through their jungle and waiting for a new wave and some new pressure to make onto the base. We're going to close things out. This is game 1 of a best of 3.
All weaved up, defensive weave coming out from Onyx.
And
they know compLexity's position on this high ground. They want to fight. They don't care.
Swindle already committed his dive too. There's the crush in, only connects, but it's on for Moo. Gets hit pretty hard with the amp damage. The egg's going to have to be forced out, and Onyx don't do anything about it. It's cogged inside, so it's going to get popped off here. Mason could be blasted, gets the grave. Now he's shackled. That's going to be the Aegis. Abed waiting behind him right now, and they're looking to scurry back the rest of compLexity. Mason returns, pops out his new bear while Abed's making chase. He's going to get the finish on for Z-Freak. Monkeys to run back in inside. Cancel from behind, though. Trying to latch onto Dubu, gets the chains. Remnants down and back inside home.
Oh, those auto attacks.
And my God, the range comes
downtown
out from Mason and gets the finish onto Monkeys. He's going to have to use his buyback here if he cares about this mid lane racks, but even if he did, they're already gone. The Alacrity Bear just shreds right on through. Cole
that was just
take this
sheer strength by Onyx, bullying their way up into that high ground with the Aegis, taking a pretty bad positioning for a fight for them, even and just because of how powerful they are right now, they're able to take it. And it should be 2 sets of racks, if not the game here.
Jump in from cancel. There's the chains. And 2 sets of racks are going to be down. And Onyx looks to make the retreat. Cancel. Sets up a chains on Bulba here. But then Abed steps inside and just blasts down Swindles. They will get the finishing jump to take out Bulba, it looks like. Z-Freak moves in. Stomp, though, going to be slightly off the mark, so Macer commits the Savage Roar. And they run. Rendezvous with Demon. And Onyx make their hasty little retreat after just gobbling up such a sweet and delicious prize. My goodness, look at the net worth just get out of control here for Onyx. Just so rich, the Invoker, and now Mason's Lone Druid. We have to see what compLexity want to do. Obviously, with their backs against the wall here, it's on them to try to find their way. Just pull out some crazy clutch. I don't know. compLexity smoke wraparound, I suppose.
Yeah, it's pretty hard when you're playing at such a disadvantage, but they do have to try to get like something, but it's so hard for them to really get the Doom off on the proper targets. He can't Doom the Invoker ever, and that's probably the best target other than the Slardar to go on, just because the Lincolns, he has nowhere to break it. So he did go for that like blink drum build, but he's not really able to like be in the middle of the fight. Once he if he blinks in, he's just like gonna instantly die. There's just too much burst potential and control coming up from the side of Onyx for pretty much majority of Cole. And here we go. This is Desperation Smoke.
That's not desperate. That's the coal smoke. Here we go.
Where are they going though?
I don't know. This is the biggest wraparound I've seen in my life. Okay, they cut it a bit short, but it's the worst approach you could ask for as they're going to be on the low ground there. Okay, they turn back. They drop the ward. They see what's going on. And Cancel says, I still want to fight around a bit. Hits him with the Veil and the chains, but I don't know. Cole are kind of thinking about they want to go into the high ground, and they commit in. They're trying to get Mason, but he gets the Grave. He gets the burst. Cancel wants him so bad. He is rushing for him. The BKB's been popped. He's going so far. I just want to see if he gets him here. Can he get him? Mason's still running while the rest of the fight's breaking out. He calls a new bear, and it looks like he may be able to make it away. Oh, no. Monkeys will finally be able to get the drop. A huge fight for compLexity. It looked like it was going to be a bit awkward having to fight into the high ground, but they took Mason pretty much entirely out of the fight.
Vision advantage there. They had the ward on the high ground, so they're able to kind of see everywhere that Onyx was positioned. So they saw like 2 or 3 heroes in the area. So he gets only the one-man crush on Mason, but the damage dealers were what was grabbed. The damage dealer and the saver and initiator were what were grabbed by on the side of Onyx. So they couldn't reset the fight. They couldn't like re-engage. They had to take some like weird fight that just wasn't good for them. And now top Onyx.
The cross-pass with Swindles here, trying to wait out for Cancel, so they will take the easy bird pick off. Cancel will rush within the trees. Oh, Bulba and Abed tried to guess within the trees where he is, but they will both be wrong. And Cancel will be able to make it out from trouble. Onyx picking back up those pieces that they kind of fumbled over with in that last little trade from compLexity. Are not looking to allow them to kind of push us into that scary late game where it really could become anyone's game. So Onyx are trying to close this one out. Smoked and moved in. Oh, they've been spotted here. Cancel knocks up 2 of them with the chains, and Onyx are going to make their approach elsewhere, it would seem. Trying to chase out Moo, who's on his own little long journey bottom lane.
It's like the only way that they can take the fight, I think. Look the way they just last did. Jump on top of Mason, force the reaction, and then, I mean, not clump up, because what also happened was Abed didn't really have a good position to use his spells. He actually ended up whiffing his Meteor Blast on the Lifestealer too in the last engagement. So they'd isolate the Lone Druid, make it so he's in the front lines, and make sure that he can't just be in the back acting like a turret and DPSing them. So bring him down and just like kind of try to zone out the Invoker while dealing with the other 3, because the Lone Druid and the Invoker are really all the damage that Onyx has.
It's been just more of the credit of the supports kind of setting everything up for them to knock it down right now. Yeah. So if they're caught in a bit of an awkward position, Onyx can be very vulnerable. Credit to compLexity to be able to kind of get the jump on them in that
They do get a scan
but
coming out here. They do know that there's some heroes on that
they're
high
creeping
ground.
there. They're going to go up and around.
It's Onyx with the vision advantage. Again, we saw what happened last time when they had it.
Yeah, they are.
There's a smoke though. Oh!
Ooh.
Their smoke did not break, but they jumped the illusion thinking it was real.
And Cole frantically makes their way back inside because there's still some creeps to kind of clean out here. The push comes in from the bottom lane, and the jig will be up. Onyx are still kind of hanging around outside that door in the top lane.
They're waiting for Roche. Yeah, they've got Abed's Forge Spirit already chilling there. They don't want to take any risks. Only one more set of racks left. They feel very comfortable in this game. I mean, To be honest, like looking at cancel on the Ember, like they must be seeing him and being like, oh my god, like this guy is suffering so much in this game. He's not getting kills. He's not able to farm properly. Like he's not the one able to push. He's not able to push lanes out because of the position that Onyx has put them in. So he's just slowly but surely falling more and more behind on this Ember Spirit, and his damage potential is quite low.
Like, where did things go wrong so bad? I mean, it was obvious that Abed was probably able to outmatch him in the landing phase. That's what happens when, you know, you already commit early for the Ember and you have a last pick Invoker kind of come out here for Onyx. And Abed's very skilled, don't get me wrong. But were there other contributing factors? Like, why was Cancel never able to kind of get himself into...
He died.
Just died.
He died every fight. He was never alive at the end of it. He always was dead, either at the start of the fight or in the middle of the fight, or he was nowhere near anyone that was dying. Like, he got jumped on in multiple situations where this fight started with him dead, and then his team gets a couple kills. So that's why, like, Melons was pretty much higher level than him. He's just been getting engaged on.
The siege begins now from Cole to try to close out this game here in the top lane. compLexity, who have been on a 5-game win streak coming into this, probably feeling pretty good and confident. Since then, 7.02 comes out. Strategies have changed a bit. Not so much so for Onyx in this game, as Mason continues to rep on his Lone Druid, sieging away from the low ground. compLexity pulling out some new fresher picks, trying to hold on here. That's a tier 3, going to be gone though. Thinking about making a mark, jump in, the Lincolns is going to get popped, they hit him up, that's going to be a doomed Abed. Triple forces to get him out and away from trouble as Moo tries to pursue. Meanwhile, Bulba jumps in. Huge crush comes out from Dubu, connecting onto 3. Cancel, trying desperately to move inside. Abed will finally be relieved of the doom, but the damage had already been done. compLexity have lost 4. Swindle's the only survivor. And Onyx go back inside to close it out. They actually get him with the Tornado and the Rocket here, but that's going to be Megas. And that was a fight where Abed was even hit with the Doom and not able to really cast anything.
Yeah, it just shows the sheer damage potential from the Lone Druid with the BKB too. He's able to just stay in kind of the backlines, and I mean they had ages. They had such a concrete advantage in that last fight. Like compLexity just bit under farm and hard for them to really like take fights properly into their lineup. Like even though somebody's like shackled up, like I think the Lone Druid was shackled up in the beginning of the fight too, and the Invoker gets doomed out. Too many like chain disables coming out from the Slardar, the weave building up, and then there's just like too much going on in the fight with the Bear and the Invoker being so uber farmed.
There was some hope there for a little bit for compLexity. Lots of trades to take momentum back their way, favorable positions, but yeah, Onyx overall comfort picks and
strong draft.
Comfort
and it's
game. Yeah.
Hard for a lifestealer too. Like Moo did pretty well this game. I know we really harped on Cancel like getting very shut down and him dying in a lot of the engagements and getting initiated on, which some of them were not his fault. It was just like ward positioning. But the lifestealer too, like the fights he could get kited so hard from this, from the Clockwork, the Lone Druid once he gets with Rabid, like he's just so much like speedier, and then once he gets the Scotty, as we saw too, there's just so many different things for Onyx to really use since they're at the advantage that they're at.
We'll see if they can kind of keep this momentum going or not. That's just game number 1 of this best of 3. So what we'll do now, myself, Coddle Guy, and Fogged will cut to a break. When we return, we'll hop into game number 2 of this DAC American Qualifier playoff matchup, Team Onyx versus compLexity.